Hello.
Louise.
Hello.
You're not bad, thank you.
Thank you.
No one's coming yet.
Don't think so.
Good,
Just
good.
you two. Be nice to
Lounge
you.
across to you.
Yeah.
Okay, David, have the players had a spring in their step this week after the comeback?
Well, we felt much better, I can tell you, since winning in midweek. But we actually done a lot of good things in the Tottenham game as well. With a few chances, Tottenham were very good, but we held them out for a long time in the game. But so there was some positives to take from that game as well. And the one in midweek, I thought we played quite well, and the players got their just rewards. They deserved to win the game.
I suppose if there were any question marks over their character, they proved that the way they came back against a decent QPR side.
I don't think there was ever any question marks over their character. I think they were always renowned for being strong boys here, capable. They showed that last year, so I've never ever questioned their character, no.
I spoke to Stephen Pienaar yesterday and he said Paddy McNair came back in the morning and he was having a joke with him saying that you're the top scorer now.
Yeah.
Have you unearthed a goal scoring gem there, do you think?
Well, do you want to know, I always knew that he could score goals because he's someone who, he strikes the ball well, he's a good finisher in training, we see it. So it was no surprise that he scored the goals. Maybe it would be to some people who maybe think him more of a defensive player, but he's probably more of an attacking player, an attacking midfield player at this time in his career. So he done well for us. We needed his goals, and big thing is it will give him great confidence. He scored an own goal against Manchester City. That was unfortunate. So I'm glad he's got two for us in the right end.
Is that where you see him playing moving forward? I know Louis van Gaal played him at centre back, but he says throughout his career he's either played sort of right or left, or even sometimes in the number 10 position.
He has actually. I think he started as a young boy when he joined Manchester United as a number 10, and I think as he probably grew, he slipped back. His size made him look more like a centre half. He's a big lad, but he's a very good footballer. Technically, he's good in the ball, and because of that, he can play in the middle of the park. Maybe in years to come, he'll turn into a centre half. But I think at his youthful age and the energy he's got, he can be used further up the pitch.
And is that performance and the win the other night, is that giving you a boost personally, because it's been testing the last few weeks?
Yeah, but we knew that we had to pick up a bit of momentum, get a result. But I'd said a couple of times, I sensed that we were feeling a bit better. We'd started to get players back from injury. We've had an awful lot of injuries at the start of the year, and I don't want to use them ever as an excuse, but for the squad we've got, people like Paddy McNair, Donald, Love, boys who'd been brought in, had to go right into the first team against teams like Manchester City because we didn't have other personnel. Lyndon Gooch has started a lot of the games this season, but we've just started to get some of the seniors back, and we're still waiting on people like Fabio Barrini coming back as well. We'll get Jack Rodwell back for this game, who's been out for the last couple of games, so we're getting much closer to having a sort of full contingent in our squad now.
It's your 2-month anniversary in the job today. Has it flown by?
I've got to say, I've really enjoyed the job. No manager enjoys losing, and I certainly don't, far from it. But I've enjoyed the job. The people have been great. Do you know something? The weather's been great up in Sunderland. I think that's one of the good things. And I've got to say, the players have, whatever we've asked of them, they've tried to do.
Stephen Pienaar yesterday said that you've mellowed since your time at Everton. Is that something you realise yourself?
Well, now he's said that, I'll get into it. I think as you get older, I think you find your own ways to manage. I think, like MD, I think when you start off, you get rid of the rough edges. So, I don't know if I've mellowed. Hopefully I've become more thoughtful and more considered in some of the things I do and say.
Can we touch on the Patrick Van Aanholt situation? I think you said after the game the other night that you'd be able to clarify a few things. You obviously played the full 90. Is that him now free from that?
Yes, it is, yeah. He's back playing now, and I'm hoping that we can be still a bit clearer in time, because there was some misunderstanding with it. But it was only misunderstanding from things that were passed on. But I can only confirm that the right decision was definitely taken on the information we'd been given through the doctor, through the club, that we acted on the best interests of the boy and the club.
Has he had further tests this week then to clear that up?
Yes, he's had tests, and he's spoken with cardiologists, and a consensus of them have said that go ahead and get on with things.
And moving forward, is that something then Patrick himself and you as a club you going to have to sort of keep on top of that?
Well, I think MD, who had any, no matter what, sort of you had any problems, you would get monitored. Even in people who are not in professional football, they would get monitored. So we'll keep our eyes on Pat. But he played really well the other night. He got 90 minutes. It didn't show as if anything bothered him. He got on with it, and long may that continue.
Did it bother you at all, the pictures in one or two of the newspapers this morning with the shisha pipe?
Yes, it did, aye. Because I think that you've got standards to set as a professional footballer. You're a role model. I've told them what I expect. I don't think it's a good thing for kids to see, and I wouldn't want to let my kids ever see me do anything like that. Not that I would do, but nevertheless, I don't think it's the right thing to do. And I don't think if you're a professional footballer. But it was off season, and it's strange how people bring pictures out 4-6 weeks later after the event, to sort of tie something up. But nevertheless, I believe he shouldn't have done it.
Does he now have to realise, as a result of what's gone on in this last week, that he's probably even more in the spotlight than he was before then?
Yeah, but he always was in the spotlight. He's a good football player. He's an important player for Sunderland. So, but I do think that if you're in this role now, with the way football is, you're very fortunate. The world you live in. There's how many people would give anything to be in the situation there. So don't blow it. It's a short career. Make the most of it when you can, because it's a great life, and it's only when you leave it and you go out of it do you realise how much you enjoyed it when you were in it.
Also, one or two reports, David, this morning that the club have been offered Emmanuel Adebayor. Is there any interest at all from you?
We had been offered that probably about 4 weeks ago, and at that time we chose not to. I don't see anything at the moment would alter that.
Is fullback?
Jermaine's back training today. We hope that he'll be okay. He had a kick in his calf, and we hope he'll be fit and ready to go tomorrow.
And your other one I think you missed was the Kazri have a bug the other night.
Yeah, Wazi had a sickness bug. He's been back. He's trained a couple of days, so hopefully he'll be available for the squad as well.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
David, the team seems to be improving. Victor Anichebe, I know obviously you're taking your time with him and building up his match fitness. Can we see him in a Sunderland shirt soon?
Soon we hope to get him back, because we see that he's got Premier League experience. We're short of strikers, as we showed a little bit in midweek in the World Cup game. But overall, we need him because he's a Premier League player and he can give us some experience as well. But we are trying to get him in the right condition, and I'd like to get him some minutes in games. But we've been a bit like that since the start of the season. We've been bringing people in, signing them, bringing them in, and having to put them directly in the team. Victor's been a little bit more. We've been able to give Victor some training, so he's not too far away.
How challenging is this game against Crystal Palace? It just seems to be clicking into gear at the moment.
Well, I think Alan's done a really good job with Crystal Palace, and I know they had some difficult times last year. But I think on the climb to get up the Premier League and stabilise your club, I think there's different times where it can drop for a while and people wonder what's happening. But it's part of the going again, really. I think they've signed well. I think they've got good players. So I think they're doing a good job there, and it'll be a tough game for us, it really will.
Yourself and Alan, very experienced Premier League managers. What's been the key to that longevity, do you think?
I think I know Alan well enough, but he was always a winner in his young days. We used to compete when he was at Reading and I was at Preston in the early days. So I think nearly through our whole time as managers or coaches we've competed. He's had some good jobs, so have I. We've had tough times as well. But I think sometimes the tough times makes you realise, what it's like, and it sort of moulds you a little bit as well. So Alan's had to go through that as well, but you're not going to go into management, it's always going to be easy, that's for sure.
And what do you want to see from your team this weekend? Different proposition, you were away last weekend. So
I think I want to continue with, I said I've felt there's been some good signs. I can only sort of say that by my result in midweek, and I can only go and try and show that in the next game. I hope we can show that again. But as you rightly say, Crystal Palace are in good form. They've had a couple of really good wins, so it's not always just to do with my team, it's about the opposition we're playing as well.
And finally from me, Stephen Pienaar gave us a little rendition of his initiation song yesterday.
Did he?
He sang Bob Marley apparently in front of the squad.
He did, yeah, he did, that's right.
How did that go down?
He went down all right, actually. It was good. Some of them, as you can imagine, at the football clubs is really bad. But Stephen's okay. but he's old enough now. I think he's had a few initiations at a few clubs.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Cheers. Thank you.
David.
Cheers. Thanks.
You're not being seen. Oh, good. That's like strangled cat.
Thanks very much. Cheers.